Hi, welcome to our channel. I I got some motorcycles in the background. Those are some of my Moto Guzzi's. And now is the time for me to actually build a Harley. So I've been wanting to do one for a while, and now is the time. So I'm going to build a 1931 Harley VL. And I guess I'm recording this because I know there are guys out there that would love to have a Harley Big Twin, and they don't want to spend $30,000 for it. So I guess I've been spending the past year collecting parts, one part at a time. And so I'm going to build a Harley VL, a 1931 Harley VL. It's going to be more than just period correct. It is going to be, those are going to be the correct parts for that particular year. And I'm hopefully going to be able to do it for under $10,000. So I guess a dirty little secret is that as I've been accumulating parts for the past year, I basically have duplicates of everything. So I have enough parts for the 31 Harley, but I also have enough for a 1934 Harley. So I'm going to just record some videos and kind of show you how I do it. And because I know people must be interested. So I've got the frames, I've got the Springer front end, I've got the wheels, I've got the engine, I've got the transmissions, and I'm just going to go step by step. So I cleaned up the frame. The frame was really kind of paint on top of paint on top of paint. So I meat up lots of that. So I've got the one frame ready. I rebuilt the front end, the Springer. I've got a video of that. That's the next video. Well, that's the third video. The spokes were rusted. I got some great wheels. Spokes were rusted. And those are getting fixed. I've actually laced them up. So I'm going to trim them and balance them. I'm going to install those. And then I'm going to build the engines. I'm going to build the transmissions. And I'm going to build the motorcycle. So if you don't think you can do it, you are wrong. You can do it. And it is easier than you might think. And it's basically one part at a time. And the four motorcycles I have behind me, I know they're all covered up, but those are torn totally apart. And so this one it's probably simpler in concept than these Moto Guzzi's are. And it's so much less expensive than you might think. It is. I'm going to try to post the parts. I'm going to go over the pricing on everything. And on the, the one that I'm going to build right now, the 31, the frame was about $1,800, $1,825. The Springer front end, I'm going to say it's $1,500 because I bought a group of parts. I bought a frame, I bought a front end, I bought a transmission, I bought the handlebars, plus I got a set. I got the front forks for a Harley UL Springer front, and it was that's worth $600, $700. So I spent $3,500 for that. So on that one, I'm assuming the frame is $1,500, the transmission is $2,000, and the other Springer is like $1,000. But generally speaking, if you can get a frame for $1,500, $1,800, I'm saying is what I paid. $1,500 for the front end. You got to look for that. So that's going to take you a couple months. Engine is going to cost you about $1,000, probably max. These 31 cases that I bought, I bought for $500. The flywheel I bought for $300. That was with the connecting rods. And pistons are going to be about $200. I guess I'm into it for like maybe $1,200 because the cam gears were like $200 as well. And then all the little bits and pieces, the bearings and whatnot, let's assume $100 for that. The oil pump was like $150. The cylinder and heads were like $300. So the handlebars were, I don't know, $100. The wheels were about 150. One was 150, the other was 200. Spokes were expensive. Spokes were $130 per wheel. But when all is said and done, I should be into this first motorcycle for maybe 6 or 7,000. I'm going to go over all the numbers, but that is kind of including a lot of parts for the second VL that I have. Because right now I have 4 complete transmissions, so I'm going to sell 2 of those transmissions. I have 2.5 sets of tanks, so I got all the tanks. So it should be quick and easy. I don't want to say quick or easy, but it should turn out very well. I'm hoping it does. And I actually just got off of work too, so that's why I still have a tie on. But it's so this next video that I attached to this, I'm going to just do a walk around of all the parts that I've accumulated so far. And as I was building these Moto Guzzi's, this one right here is an iConvert. It has an automatic transmission, generally an automatic transmission. It is spectacular. I'm going to attach a video to this about a tour of the parts that I've just collected. And I've just leisurely been collecting the parts over the past year. You can generally do it in 3 to 6 months. You can do it in 30 to 60 to 90 days, really. The game plan, though, is to pay the least amount of money for the parts. So negotiate. Try to get it so that you're getting a reasonable price. And I bought a lot on eBay. I bought a lot on Facebook Marketplace. So it's very doable. And it is... you will have a spectacular motorcycle at the end. So stay tuned. It is and again, I'm going to attach the video to this, so I'll do a quick walk around, and then after this walk around is done, we're going to start off by rebuilding the forks. So stand by, and thank you. And I guess before I get to the parts, let me show you what the bikes are going to look like, or the bike, yeah, well, at least the first bike. And here is an orange, and I don't know, I guess it's olive drab, but this is it's a beautiful Harley VL. And here is another version that is blue and silver. This one's more like a 1936 based upon the fenders. This is also a later one. This is a 34 or later, I think. This one, again, I think that's the same picture, to be honest. So, and here is it's a tan on brown. So this is really what the motorcycle is going to look like when it's all said and done. So I guess before I sent you over to the parts video, this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to be a beautiful bike, and it is going to be, here is another one. This is a red and black one, which really looks great. And this is the one that I'm leaning toward. This is a 1931. I like the color scheme. Most likely I'm not going to paint the frame blue or the front end blue. Those are going to remain black. Everything else I could picture painting like this. Those are the correct fenders. This looks like a period correct 1931, and the fenders look correct. So this is what I'm leaning towards. So when all is said and done, the motorcycle most likely is going to look like this, and most likely my 1934 is going to look like this one. I'm sorry, never mind. That is the 1934 is going to look more like this one. And that is just really, really sharp. And it's a black on gold. Um, Everything looks fantastic. So this is what we were aiming for. And so I'm going to shift it over now to the video for basically the parts. And then once you see that, then we're going to go to starting the build. So thank you. Are my frames that I have here. I have two VL frames, and you're going to probably see that I have kind of like two of everything. And this first frame was got the white on it. That is, I've actually media blasted that a little bit. The one in the back I haven't, and it looks really good. The metal's really not pitted at all. The other bike's got pitted metal that I'm going to have to address. The stamped numbers still look great actually, and it's that's the second one. You can see the crossover tube. I've got another crossover tube. That one's kind of really corroded, but otherwise it's in fairly decent shape. You can see the handlebars there I have, and when I was media blasting that, I was actually going over every inch of that bike with a fine tooth comb. I have 4 tanks, and I actually have 4.5 tanks. So they're actually all in relatively okay condition. Shockingly, I didn't pay much for them. Maybe $200 for one set and maybe $150 for the other set. I bought one set on eBay, and I bought one set on at a motorcycle show. I actually have 3 petcocks. I haven't rebuilt them, but I've got 3 petcocks there, and I think I can get those things rebuilt, or I can rebuild them. Let me rephrase that. So it is. I'm going to really spend probably a whole weekend on these tanks. So when I get down to the tank portion, I'm going to be there for a weekend. I've got the front crash bar. I've got the pogo tube, and I generally have I have most of the parts, but so I've got 2 frames, 2 sets of tanks. I've only got 1 set of forks, so I'm looking for another fork assembly. Here on my table, I have 3 transmissions sitting here. I probably have enough parts for 4.5 or 5. And I've been gradually just buying parts 1 part by 1 part. And I've been perhaps buying an assembly every now and then. But they all work really good. Here is my 34 motor, and it's generally complete. That's my 31 over there, and ignore this one. This is my WLA, so I have a WLA that I'm working on as well. But this is the 34. I don't have the flywheels in. Generally, I think I have all the pieces. The cam gears are in it, and this is the second bike. That's the set of flywheels for that 34. Well, it's 1 flywheel. There's a generator. I only have 1 generator, so I need to get another generator. And it's when I go through building the bikes, I'm going to actually take the transmissions apart and go through them. So I'm saying for the engines, right now they're just like basically dry fit assembled. They've got assembly loops, so they're not necessarily dry, but I'm going to take them all apart and put them together. Here's my bucket of parts. I have a couple front drum brakes. I have 1 complete assembly. The other one I'm missing just the cover and the lever. This is one of the assemblies. That's the front brake drum. It looks really good actually on the inside. Here's my second. This one's like an assembly, so I've got the cover. I'm going to tidy that one up as well. Those are the 2 inner primary covers that I have. This is I have 1 headlight so far. That is 1, I guess, bolt for a floorboard. I have that is like the hub assembly, and it's I actually have multiple of those. Um, they're actually in the wheels already. So it is, I've actually rebuilt them already. I'm not sorry, I haven't rebuilt them totally, but they've been taken apart and cleaned. I've got new bearings for them. And this is, there's the brake assembly or the brake lever. There's the clutch. Yes, they look very rusty. No, they're not going to look like that. They're going to be pristine looking. And um, so those will look great when they're done. Everything is just so thick. All the metals are thick. In my other bucket, I've got a coil in there. I've got the tappets. I got valves in there, and they're the valve covers. Um, there's like a, I don't know, I guess a tappet guide. Um, I've got at least 2 sets of tappets. I think I have maybe 3. Um, it's I've got one set that I've already rebuilt, and this set obviously hasn't. But I'll rebuild those when I do the second one. But I have the spark plugs. I don't have a wiring harness yet. Um, that's another tappet I have, or I guess a roller. Um, I've got wiring, spark plugs. They're the valve springs, and those are I guess the top covers for them. I've got the wiring harness from the coil to the um, circuit breaker, and that is a piece of the pedal for the Kickstarter. Well, for a Kickstarter, I don't know why I keep it, but I have it, and that now this is the 31. This is generally complete. I've got the flywheel in there. It really rotates very well. I've got the cams in, and so all the cams are in there moving. In fact, I think I have them so that they're timed up. You can see the breather pocket on there, and you can see the cam for the circuit breaker turning. It's hard to move that with just one hand, um, but it is so incredibly smooth. That's the breather pocket, and that's the oil pump. So that's a 31 oil pump. I've got the 34 oil pump on the other one, and generally everything is in there. I haven't put the gaskets on. There is no gasket between the big case, but it is. I'm going to build this motor. So here's the cylinder head. I'm not the cylinder head. Here's the cylinder, the barrel, and the um, the bores look absolutely fantastic. Outside, I have not cleaned yet, so I'm going to media blast those with some glass. And there are the heads. Heads look excellent. And this is the first bike to get built. And again, it's a 31. And I bought these parts generally one by one. Just I look for one part, buy it, look for another part, buy it. I've been spending a year doing it. And it's definitely not as hard as you might think. Um, you just need persistence. That's all you really need. Um, so this bike is going to be up and running. I would love to say it's going to be up and running in 6 weeks. If I had every single part, it would be. There are 1 or 2 parts that may be a little bit tough to get quickly, and but I'm going to get them. I'll figure a way to find them. I think I have a line on absolutely every hard part, so I don't think there's a hard part that I don't have. These bikes originally did not come with speedometers. I don't have a speedometer for either one. There's one on eBay for $3,000. I'm not paying $3,000 for a speedometer. They did not come with them. If I can get one at a reasonable price, I will. But I can't afford $3,000 for one speedometer. I'm trying to buy everything original, and I will clean it and polish it and make sure it works. So that is the game plan. Trying to get everything trying to put everything original. Fasteners, I'm not so hard and fast on. Um, Everything else, yes. And um, that breather pocket there is not easy to get. So thank you for watching.